Leo Drager here. I want to talk to you about byte ordering. One of the things that you can do in Hex Workshop when you're working with a file is you can actually look at the byte ordering or the binary that's involved in the program. Okay, so Hex Editor supports little endian and big endian. Basically, it's Intel versus Motorola, but it's the way that bytes get ordered when dealing with the processor. So there's realistically two different ways in which you can look at this. To understand byte ordering, Hex Workshop supports both the big and the little. These terms are used to describe which bytes are actually stored in memory. If the most significant bit is stored first, for example here, 1,000, it would be stored as a particular hexadecimal number versus 100,000 that would be stored differently because of the values. Okay, so clearly one's bigger than the other. Byte ordering is how it actually gets stored in memory in terms of least significant bit and most significant bit. It's the order in which it reads this binary, kind of like left to right or right to left. In networking in TCP/IP, we typically, just look at like the first 8 of something in an increment, just say like an octet. All right, so you can kind of cross-reference this with networking and subnetting because it is bits and bytes in terms of an analogy, if you will. So the placeholders is what I want to look at. This would be the 1, this would be the 2, this would be 4, this would be 8, this would be 16, this would be 32, this would be 64, and this would be 128. Okay, that's how networking traffic gets interpreted in terms of a 1 and 0 and an IP address. Well, the most significant bit is the largest in the range. In this case, the 128 placeholder versus the least significant bit, which would be the increment of 1, which is that order. So does it read it left to right or right to left? That matters in networking, especially in frame types and formats and things like that. Well, here in a static file, you can kind of cross-reference that concept. There's byte ordering. And it has to deal with the type of processors that process data and how they actually work. Okay, so little endian was one way, big endian is another. Another way to think about this is basically byte flipping. Okay, now Hex Workshop has some options here under byte ordering. You'll see it right here. I don't have it on right now, but it's flip bytes in the actual editor, or Control-Shift-Alt-B if that's not a hard one to do. But you can actually flip the bits in the editor, and that's directly related to basically big endian and little endian ordering on the different Intels and the processors. Okay, so point out that difference in the program. You'll kind of need to know this in certain times when interpreting certain programs, especially if you look at things in terms of object-oriented, how things get stored in memory. That all is directly related, and these are some of the insights in the Hex Workshop which are directly related to that. My name is Leo Drager. Hope you guys are enjoying the video so far. Don't forget to connect, share on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter.